Well, good morning. It's a gorgeous morning out here this morning. It's a little bit colder than was expected, the weatherman said. And actually we had the big warm weather arch yesterday. It was calling for warm weather, but it's still like minus 11 right now. So hopefully later today it warms up a little bit. We don't want to get too warm, turn into a mucky mess. But anyways, today I want to talk a little bit about food security. So way over there you see the sheep. Yesterday we brought all the ewes back up from the lower paddocks by the little pie-shaped piece and the dugout pasture. When we were down there, I noticed there was a ton of coyote tracks, a ton. And the day before that, I saw a fox, and the day before that, Carmen and the one neighbor had seen 3 coyotes down there. And so it's really good to have the ewes up at home, where Big Ben there, he can keep a lot closer eye on them and do a little bit more successful job of managing and protecting the property. Way down there, it's a little bit beyond his reach. And you know, he's kind of getting into their turf now. It's 3 against 1. There's really not a lot he can do. Whereas right up here at the farm, chances are you're not going to see a full pack of coyotes come all the way up into the farmyard. They're just not quite that brave yet. One thing I can't do is put, you know, all the lambs and the chickens out here basically in the fox's kitchen and then be mad at the fox or the coyote or whoever for just being a fox, right? That is their nature, is to come and to hunt and source out food. It's us that have come here and put all this food basically in the refrigerator. Now what I can do, you know, I'm obviously not going to shoot the coyote or the fox, but I can write my name on the refrigerator. Big Ben here is going to come here and say, no, this is my food, not yours. The other thing in relation to food security, you see these are our 2 chicken coops here. We've shown you these quite a few times actually, especially recently. But there's been quite a bit of discussion, of course, as we get into colder weather, especially here in northern Alberta or even in Western Canada for that matter, about controlling humidity and controlling temperature and overall bird wellness and health inside the chicken coop. And this year has been one of the years where people have like never before trying to get into some form of sustainability initiative, and chickens is always the go-to, right? I always joke that chickens is the gateway drug of homesteading or hobby farming or whatever it is you're really getting into. So if you're doing this for food security, insulate your coop, make sure they're nice and warm, make sure they're draft free, don't cheap out, right? There was a discussion the other day about, well, the pioneers didn't insulate their coops. Well, yeah, they did. Lots of them had straw and corn cob insulation. It wasn't the best, but it's what they had to work with. Obviously now, technology's advanced quite a bit. You can use fiberglass, you can add vapor barriers, all kinds of stuff to your chicken house to make it more comfortable for the chickens. Funny, yesterday I gave them a whole pumpkin in here to chew on, and they got about 2/3 of the way completely eaten. There's just going to be a husk there by tonight, I bet. So out of this one chicken house alone, we have a second chicken house, but this is the less mature birds. These are the actually actively producing birds. The 12 by 16 insulated coop. Out of that coop alone, there's 8,000 eggs a year come out of that building. So food security, yeah, that's great. But in order to secure that food, we have to make sure those chickens are very well cared for. So not only are we concerned with making sure that it's draft free, it's well insulated, and the chickens have adequate food, we also have to be concerned with predators. As I mentioned earlier, we had some 4-legged predators, but I just want to show you something about angel's wings, and I'll explain what that looks like in the snow. See these strange marks in the snow here? There's obviously been some tracks here, but this is the one we're concerned with. This is the wingtips of a magpie. Now magpie is pretty benign. The biggest thing they're going to do is basically steal your chicken food and your dog food. So they're inconvenient, but they're not really a direct threat. But if you're seeing markings like that and you're not sure it's a magpie, it's something that you maybe want to look around and observe the types of birds that are in your area. The other day we had a peregrine falcon here that tried to take a run at some of the chickens. And I mean, again, you can't be mad at the falcon for doing what the falcon's gonna do, right? Another important aspect about food security is diversity. So if we had a fox come in and clean out our chicken house, or a badger or whatever it was, come in, they could clean out that chicken house in a matter of a couple of days, and we'd be sitting there shrugging our shoulders like, what the hell happened? have some diversity. So not just chickens. You see also we got the strawberries here. We've protected those for next year, so we know we've got good solid food source for next year. We've also got the sheep, we've also got the pigs, all the stuff that if one gets taken out, there's still multiple links that are all interconnected, as opposed to just in a parallel line. So the parallel lines, or the interlocks as I like to refer to them, these are the things that link all of your necessities together. These are things like your utilities, right? So the principles with the parallel lines or the interlocks is essentially that if one of them gets taken out, everything else gets affected, right? If we lose water, not only are we affected, our animals are affected, we lose total security on the farm. So it's important when you're out here to have things like a generator, like propane tanks that, you know, if your natural gas goes out, you can still have propane. If for some reason your water well goes down, do you have the ability to haul water? So these are all things we've considered as we've built our homestead, and some of them are portable and some of them are permanent. Most of them are portable, simply because, like for instance, water, we would have to go to town to get water. Giving a bunch of grain to the ewes here. It's a process called flushing. Just not trying to fatten them up or anything like that. Just making sure they're perfectly healthy for when we introduce the rams here in a couple of weeks. Good healthy ewe means a good healthy lamb, means a good season next year. So anyways, that's our morning chores done. Charlotte and I are now going to head off to Granny and Grandpa's out in Rio Grande to finish up some last minute work on the chicken house. And then, yeah, because their chicks are going to arrive like literally any minute now, probably like within tomorrow or the next day, I'm thinking. So we'll let you go for now. We hope you have a really fantastic Sunday afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.